Yeah. Y'all pull up on me. Step on that like button. You know what time it is. We about to get into it. Pull up on me. Nas One, Michael Mosley, Bo Carter, what's poppin'? M7J7, I see you. What's Hey Joseph, what's good, man? Shout out Joseph. Y'all pull up on me. Shout out, who was there? S Space 4, what's poppin'? Diamond Hollis, Big Mo, Jimmy Russo, what's good? Young boy Sling Blade, say 3-4, locked in 3. Yeah, we finna get into all that shit. We finna get into all that shit. It's the goddamn reaction to the press conference. We finna get into it. Yeah. Share the video. Step on the like button. Let these niggas know we live, please. Let them know we live right now. I'm in the middle of twisting this green thing up. Y'all know what time it is. Pull up on me. Step on that goddamn like button. Subscribe if you new over here. Yeah. Yanellis, what's good? Shelly Long, where you been at? Right. Shout out Roy Allen. Say Greensboro in this bitch. Not Roy Allen, M7J7. Yeah. You know that. Austin Wright, what's good? I know. I mean, I took a lot away from the press conference today. We finna get into it, though. We definitely finna get into it. Nigga C Dog say he live from work. Shout out C Dog. I got that text message earlier, nigga. Andrew, what's good, baby? Domo Smith, Dimitri Contra, what's poppin'? Big Mo say Trey Fo. Yeah. See, dog, I just told you I got the text earlier, my G. I seen that shit. We finna get into it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I'm about to blow a goddamn hole in it, too. 3-4 heavy. Yeah. We gonna get into it. We definitely finna get into it. Y'all act like y'all don't understand me. Y'all act like y'all don't understand the shit I say sometimes. But it's all right. We gonna get into it. Shout out Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang in the fucking building. Pull up on me. James Harris, what's good? Make sure y'all step on that goddamn like button. Share the video. Let these niggas know we live right now. Really don't care who live right now but me. You feel me? Pull up on me. Yeah, we about to get into this shit. I mean, hey, bro. I mean, y'all don't let Frankie goddamn get your coochies juicy. You know what I mean? Just cause he's saying some things. We finna get into it. We're gonna blow a couple holes in this shit too today. Y'all know how we do it over here. Quit playing. Let's really get into it. Let's analyze what the fuck was said today. Yeah. Marcos Cash, I see you. What's that? Little fat, little fat, little fat. What's popping? Just in case. Say, let's go. Yeah, we getting into it. We getting into it. I always need about 5 minutes, a 5 minute grace period, my brother. I'm trying to seal this green thing up. You know what I mean? About a 5 minute grace. Shout out C Dog talking about we do have 3, 4 players. Yeah, nigga. What the fuck ever. Where they at? We about to get into it. We about to get into it. Trill One, what's good? Where you been at, nigga? You been at Trill One? Carlos Torres. Yeah, yeah. He say, what's good, huh? Spark that good. You know I'm about to. You know I'm about to. I'm about 1 minute out. 1 minute out. Hey, man, just y'all pull up, share the video, let them know we live. Base formation. Don't let that go over y'all head. Yeah, yeah. Talk that shit, Bo Carter. We finna get into it. We finna get into it. Yeah, y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Dom 3-4, what's good? You say light one up for me. I got you right here. That's a fact. That's a fact, Carlos. Dom Smith say, Dom 3-4 say, burn one for me, Donna B, and Shelly Long. Well, goddamn. Hey, let's get into it. Yeah, yeah. Now, what I want to do with y'all, first off, let me start off by saying, shit. First off, how y'all fucking feel tonight? You know what I mean? Carolina Panthers coaching staff finally come out, talk a little bit about what we can expect going into the 2023, 2024 season. And Kent Dokum Jr., what's good? Say, yeah, 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 yeah. We in here. Let y'all, they talked about what we can expect going into the season. What they didn't talk about is who the fuck we can expect is Sam Donald coming back. Or nobody mentioned the Sam Donald at all. But hold on, let's get into it. I wanna do something, and I wanna pull this up, and I wanna talk about this with y'all. I wanna get into the actual press conference, and we're gonna break it down. We're gonna have a live reaction to the press conference. I mean, I know y'all saw it today. A lot of y'all was in the chat earlier, but you didn't get to break it the fuck down. You didn't really get the recap. We ain't gonna let none of this shit go over our head. We're gonna talk about this shit. We're gonna bust this bitch down like it's a nice quarter ounce. You know what I mean? So y'all bear with me. Like this green thing up, we gonna jump right into it. Hold on, who else? Let me shout out Panther Prime Podcast. What's good? Brett S. What's poppin'? Donna B. I see you. Hey, Slide D. What's good? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, well, good afternoon. Welcome. I'm excited to kind of have a quick check-in here after 2 weeks of being on the job. Just give a little update on where we're at. I'm very excited about the process of hiring a coaching staff. great support and encouragement from Mr. Tepper, from Scott Fitter. It's been pretty dynamic. Mr. Tepper's been outstanding. Made it very clear that this is my decision, but there's been constant communication with he and Scott on every coach, on every position, vetting it out in every way. So it's been really dynamic and really fun. Really.
All right, we're gonna stop right there. First off, you heard what he just said. He said the the process of hiring the staff has been absolutely fun. It's absolutely been fun for him. He said that David Tepper absolutely gave him the keys to that motherfucking Hellcat and told him he can drive. And he told him he was gonna go sit in the back seat, whatever you chose. David Tepper told him he was gonna agree with it. Sounds to me that Frank White is he's doubling down on what David Tepper said as far as letting him control the direction of coaches that he want to hire. So with that, that's a plus. Let's move on. Shout out David Tep.
So it's been really dynamic and really fun. Uh, really excited about the coordinators, all the coaches, but really excited about all three coordinators who have great leadership, men of high character, men of the highest competency that you can have, and then men who I think can lead and connect with our players to bring out the best in them. So I'll open it up from there.
Three coaches on your staff who interviewed for head coaching jobs. Two of them interviewed for the same job you have. I was just curious, what was the discussion like when you were kind of recruiting them, maybe pre-process or pre-hire?
Actually, no, really not any talk of that. I mean, I think in this profession, we all understand the business that we're in and how the process goes. So, again, going back to hiring men of good character and how we approach it as a head coach, sure, you're in charge, but it's really a collaboration. So it's always about getting the best people into the fold. So we can get guys.
All right, let's stop right there. The man asked him, the guy asked him how he felt about going back and getting a coach that they interviewed for what the head coaching job, whatever the case may be. Now Frank White being a man of high character, I mean, I guess he just saying what's politically correct because deep in your soul, deep in the man's soul or on his mind, you know, if you go for a job, say you're going to get a job, they call you in for an interview. All right, we'll get back with you. You know what I mean? You get up, you walk out. This is Frank White. Frank, mind you, he came to Carolina on multiple interviews for the head coaching job. Now, after he left the first time, a couple of these coaches that we turned around and hired for what OC or you know different coaching positions on the staff actually was on the roster to be interviewed for head coach. But Frank White saying, "Nah, don't bother me. We got a bunch of men of high character in their goddamn coaching staff on their staff." I like that. Let's move on.
Getting the best people into the fold. So we can get guys who are interviewing for head coaching jobs and get them on the staff. That's just a plus for us.
How come it was so important for you to bring in guys with so much experience, a couple guys with head coaching experience? What was your thinking behind all that?
Just a diversity of thought. Guys that have with that kind of experience have been in a bunch of different systems. They've been through the wars. They've been through the ups and downs. They've learned how to solve problems. They've learned how.
Let's stop right there. Asked him about the experience of the coaching staff, and Frank said exactly what he needed to. They've been through the wins, they've been through the losses, they know the wars, they know what it take to win in this league. I like exactly what the fuck he said there. And it's a fact. You know what I mean? Shout out to my compadres, to my constituents. You know what I mean? They hop on the fact that this coaching staff is now 20 plus, has 20 plus Super Bowl appearances or wins combined. Coaching staff. Let's move on.
Work with players of all types, work through issues. It's a long season. Guys who know how to collaborate together, work through issues as a staff, as a team. Strong conviction, but no egos. I think experience brings that. Sometimes I think that's a little undervalued. sometimes I think it gets a little undervalued, but really happy to have great experience on the staff.
Experience, you also have fresher faces on the staff as well. Was it important for you to have that juxtaposition among your staff?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of try to do that on every front in every way. I think it's important. I think it builds the right chemistry. I think it helps us all grow. None of us have it figured out. We all have weaknesses. We all have strengths. So, if you get the right character in the room, and then you get that diversity of thought and approach, but with the mindset of working together, I just think we elevate each other, and because really at the end of the day, the whole point is about the players.
I say I want to stop right there. No, he's saying everything he got to say, but what I'm getting in the undertone of his voice is uncertainty. That motherfucker don't know exactly how well they're gonna mesh. I'm talking about the coaching staff. The way, and I'm going off the temperature of his conversation, off his voice. He's he's a little unsure when it comes to when they ask him if they believe that him and the coaching staff will be able to, put their minds together. I don't, and I think right then and there, Frank gave me a cause of of hesitation almost, if I could say that. Let's move on.
So, and the player group, it's a diverse player group. So you get that on your coaching staff. It allows us to serve the players even better, help them in every way we can, set them up to win, because that's what it's all about.
David Tepper say before that there's no salary cap on coaches. How beneficial, and I think you alluded to at your press conference that he was behind you on that regard. How beneficial was that financial backing as you, like, especially in Jero's case where Minnesota was, but really across the board?
Yeah, and to Mr. Tepper's credit, he never flinched on that statement. It's just not,
That's not a privilege free trials all the time. There's definitely.
I apologize about that. Give me 1 sec.
right, he's been around the block a few times in a few ways. That doesn't mean it's open checkbook. That just means we're willing to do what it takes to get the right coaches and put the right team together. So it was a good checks and balance, but
Now y'all heard what he said. Said David Tepper got his wallet wide the fuck open. Told David Tepper said to him that he spares no expense on the coaching staff, right? And shout out Frank White, Frank Rich, however you want to call it. I call him Frank White. Shout out Frank. Because he just told us that's what Tep said. He spared no expense when it comes to their coaching staff. But what about the fucking team? What about the fucking team? Is what I need to know. Never mind the fucking coaching staff. Frank is gonna allude to that. He's gonna allude to exactly what I'm getting at in a second here. Let's move on.
but he backed up what he said. I can tell you that. And we were able to compete against other teams who were vying for similar candidates. Where we came out on top because of that backing.
During your introduction, David Tepper said that one of the things that stood you out from the others was your detailed list of potential coaching candidates and how you went like 3-4 deep or whatever. How close to that list did you come?
It was pretty close. I mean, the interviews were all pretty close. There were a few new names. As when I got here, talking to guys in the building here, talking to Scott and some other guys in the building, have suggestions, talking to other coaches. So again, you have to shut it off somewhere because you get a lot of names. But it served as a good framework to start.
What do you see in Josh as your quarterback's coach? And do you see a little similarities between yourself when you were starting as a coach and him given your playing background?
I think there is similarities in that. I think Josh probably played a few more years longer, 17 years, a long time. But what I like with Josh is he was in not completely, but significantly different offenses than I was in. So his exposure to offensive football, even though we have very similar careers in some ways, he was exposed to a lot of different styles of offenses.
Yeah. Shout out Tim Mustache. Shout out Mr. Westleague in the chat. Now let's talk about what he's talking about. He's alluding to Josh McCown being the quarterback coach, and they asked him, did he see any similarities in him and Josh McCown? You know, me, I guess being that they both was NFL quarterbacks, young NFL quarterbacks, but he said he do see some, but Frank White just alluded to how many different offensive schemes Josh McCown has been a part of through his 17, 18-year career in the NFL. And I think this is why Frank White ultimately reached out to a Josh McCown as a quarterback coach, because he know those years of experience at that actual position is invaluable. Let's move on.
Offenses that I wasn't, or as a player. So so although we might have a similar philosophy and approach to how to get the best out of a quarterback, the actual what he'll bring to the table systematically as far as our scheme and how we teach and approach with the quarterback, I think is going to be a great benefit.
Kind of touched on it there and a little bit elsewhere. How important is it to you to not have a bunch of yes men on your staff with that diversity of thought to tell you, I don't think this is the right way?
100%, and everybody knows that right away. I mean, if there's one thing that I would despise as a head coach, it would be that. Now, we all respect one another, and I certainly expect them to respect me. I will respect them. But when we get in that staff room and we start talking about players, we want to hear conviction. I want to hear conviction. I want to hear, opinions about.
Now let's stop right there, because this is a major topic. This is a major point of this press conference that I really don't want to fast forward by, because they asked him, how does he feel about not having yes men on his staff? Now this is going to be a major point or a major topic moving forward, especially around Frank, because this is something he said. Now, what he said is that, he said 100%. He said he when they get in that coaching staff room and they talking about offensive scheme and they talking about players, he said he wants conviction out of whoever voice or whoever's talking about whatever part. He wants conviction, right? But then on the backside of that, he said but you can do that respectfully. He said you can do that respectfully. Now, two things. One, there's no fucking way on God green earth, if you got conviction about something, that the question of you being respectful about it is out of the question. Because if you're convicted in something or believe in something, and you're totally convicted in it, then you having respect for a person's feelings or thoughts or emotions about what you're convicted in, it don't exist. Because if you're convicted in something, if you believe, let's just say something as simple as Jesus Christ, if you're convicted in it and your belief is that strong, then you're not going to accept another man, woman, or anybody telling you that it doesn't exist, or your faith don't mean anything, because for one, you have conviction. So therefore, you are not going to respect his or her feelings when it comes to that. So I don't believe Frank White when he say that. Now, this is a point that I want to touch on and talk about, because when he say that he don't want yes men on his coaching staff, in fact, I believe that's a goddamn lie. That's a fucking lie. I don't know who you think you're talking to. You can pass that shit off on other Panther fans. But if you tell me, Frank White, Frank Wretch, or however y'all want to call it, that if you sitting in that goddamn staff room and black ass Deuce Staley jump up and tell you to shut up and you wrong, because we need to run the ball right here instead of doing what you want to do, you will probably fire his motherfucking ass, Frank. Never mind you wanting convicted men in your locker room. Listen, we're gonna move on, but we're gonna circle back to this. Let's move forward. Good grade things, good grade things. Shout out Chris goes in, kicking it with Rod. Hey, look, we getting into it. I told y'all, we're not gonna play with this shit tonight. Shout out Siren or Cyrus, I have surreal or whatever that was.
It's about what is
Yeah,
best
if
for
you
our
new,
team, for our
subscribe.
players in position to win. So you can do that in a respectful way, or it goes both ways. So very important.
Ask you about Dom Capers and sort of that full circle moment you're having with him. But also, you mentioned that in your first press conference, I think, that you were going to decide whether you're going to call plays after. So, are you going to call plays?
So first, in respect to Dom, I mean, wow, this is pretty cool, right? And I think I mentioned that in my first press conference. I'm not overly sentimental, but that is kind of special to me. But let me just say this: anybody who knows Dom Capers knows that this is not a sentimental hire. This is not a sentimental hire, not even close. This guy is still vibrant with football, passion and experience and knowledge. He and Ajero have an unbelievable relationship and trust. So that's just going to benefit our team. I went into the process of, thinking about calling plays, not calling plays. There is going to be some point that I'm going to pass it off. You know, I know that's going to be hard, and I've been laughing. I've laughed with Thomas about that already. I said I'm going to pass it off at some point. I don't know when, but and I think there will be a time and a place, and I think it'll become apparent when that is. But
Now let's go there. Let's stop right there. We ain't go fast forward past that shit neither, Frank. Now, they asked him about calling plays, and Frank told you again, and he also alluded to Thomas Brown this time. He told him, he said he's gonna call plays, and at some point in time, he may stop, he may pass the responsibility on. And he said, and at times he may go to Thomas Brown for questions or for ideas, but as far as play calling go, Frank White will be calling plays, and he's going to tell you exactly why he's going to call plays. Not because he don't trust or he don't trust. Well, I'm gonna say he don't trust it, but I think Frank just wants to call plays. It's no way around it. He wants to be in charge of the play call, and you can. I mean, even if we got an OC with the title on paper in Thomas Brown. His job is holding that fucking clipboard. I told y'all that. Let's move on.
I think the right thing for me to do for our team and for our offense right now is for me to continue to kind of use my experience there, but draw on. I'll lean heavy on Thomas. I can already tell. It's been a couple days, and I've already leaned on him hard on a couple things. I had a long meeting with him this morning, and I felt wisdom, conviction, strength. So that relationship is going to be really good.
To follow up on that, when Thomas was interviewing, you guys haven't worked together before, but he is a former player. You've hired a lot of former players on offense. Why is it important to have those former player voices, and what stood out about Thomas in that interview?
It has to be the right former player, and I did want to mix up some former players and guys who just have been lifetime coaches, because I think there's pros and cons to both. But hey, the players that we're looking for.
Pampers, the #1 pediatric.
Yeah. My bad about that. Shout out Puerto Rican Johnny in this bitch. Shout out most hated blocker. Donna B say, hey, Danny Diva, you okay? Yeah, you already know what time it is, Donna. She done signed the waiver. Was she accepted my vows at the altar, goddammit. She signed that waiver for life. You know what I mean? Shit, she gonna be fine. But anyway, back to the goddamn content.
Stories all the time. Hey, when I played, here's how we did it. I'm looking for guys who come in and talk about the players that we have. Let's talk about the players we have. Our careers are over, right? But I want to use your experience. We want to use your experience as a player to connect, have credibility, And, there are some things you learn as a player that I think it's hard to learn any other way. So
Well, let's talk about that real quick. Why did he say that? Why did he say that? The man asked him about him hiring a bunch of ex-players on his staff, and he immediately alluded to, look, he told these motherfuckers already, our careers are over now. You know what I mean? No more living through these young players, our old expired careers. And I wonder, and there's one name that stands out to me that I think he's speaking of, and that's goddamn Dante or D'Angelo Hall. That motherfucking Hall nigga that they done bought in for the defensive back coach, because it may already be a rift between niggas in there already. Shout out Frank for trying dead this shit off dick. Let's move on.
you learn as a player that I think it's hard to learn any other way. So I think that it goes back to the diversity question. We got that diversity in there as well. I think it's a good mix.
Frank, in terms of, there's a lot of people saying that you have we're put together one of the best coaching staffs, maybe in the NFL right now. How much of this team success is related to the coaching staff, and how much is related?
That's funny you asked that question. I have a couple good friends in the coaching business, and we like to throw numbers on this, right? We like to throw numbers on this, and because we as coaches know this is a player's game. So I have typically always said that this game is 80 to 90% about the players. It's 80 to 90% about the players, 10 to 20% of it is coaching. But when you consider the number of games and the percentage of games that are won by one score, 10 or 20% is a very significant difference. So if you can compete and quote unquote out coach your opponent by 10 or 20%, and you win 10 or 20% more games, that's 3 games a year, maybe.
Now I want to stop right there because that's something we ain't had in Carolina in a while. Shout out Frank White for talking about, or just foreseeing him and his coaching staff with the ability to outcoach the rest of these bitches in this division. Or see, because what he's telling you is that coaching matters. And he's telling you, what about, he's like, players win games, but what about the games when you win by 1 point or a field goal? When it comes down to coaching, when it comes down to field position. This is what Frank is telling you. Now, shout out to Frank White, because honestly, in Carolina for a while, we hadn't had a coaching staff talk about out coaching the opposing coaching staff. Let's move on.
Some more games, that's 3 games a year, maybe, right? So that's a huge difference. But at the end of the day, it's a player's game. And so what we as a coaching staff, what I'll say to our coaching staff, I don't know if it's 10% or 20%, but we got to get 100% of our 10%, or we got to get 100% of our 20, every ounce of energy that we have to get whatever it is that we contribute, we got to get it.
Defensively, are you committed to a 3-4 then scheme?
Yeah, Ajero's been 3-4. It'll be a base 3-4 scheme, but when we get in sub, it's really multiple. It's really multiple. There's 4 down, 3 down, 5 down. It'll all depend on how Ajero and the defensive staff want to put our player, take advantage of our player.
Now let's stop right there, because I saw a lot of you motherfuckers talking that 3-4 shit in my chat. Now, it's a fact Frank just came out and said, the man asked him, was the defense going to be a 3-4 defense? He said it's going to be a 3-4 defense base, but it's going to be a multiple front defense. 3 down, 4 down, 5 down. What Frank is telling you, what Frank White is telling you right now is that he don't know what the fuck this defense gonna be. Right now, we do not have the personnel to be a strong base 3-4 defense. If you say we do, you don't know who the fuck on this team. I'm gonna tell you that right now. First off, our corners are too small for a 3-4 defense. We got small ass corners. CJ Henderson ain't gonna work in no 3-4 scheme. I'm telling you that right now. Dante Jackson, hey, he'll suffer in a 3-4 scheme. The corners we got ain't gonna work. The Jeremy Chin might be the only one that could kind of flourish in that system on the back end of this team. Now, if we talking about linebackers, stop it. We talking about defense, man, don't play with me. We don't have the personnel to run a solid 3-4 scheme. Let's move on.
Jero and the defensive staff want to put our player, take advantage of our players' strengths. We'll be very multiple, but in our base defense, we'll be 3-4.
Who does that
Well,
benefit?
specifically, what has been your experience with him? What did he bring that you felt was important to have?
Jim was a huge hire, just a wealth of experience. Obviously, Tony Dungy and Jim Caldwell were the first kind of coaches who hired me, gave me my start. And I worked for Jim, so I saw firsthand his brilliance in offensive as a mind. He's an elite leader.
Shout out Shelly Lowe. Shelly, you can block that motherfucker talking about your breasts in the chat now if you want. But block his motherfucking ass. You hear me? You do have a rich Shelly Lowe. Let's move on.
He's got great wisdom, so he's a very experienced and successful person in everything he's done. So I'll lean on him as a former head coach, as a former offensive kind of quote unquote guru in a lot of ways. But really, the role with Coach Caldwell, it's going to be a little different because he and I have talked about almost like I am as a head coach. He's intertwined in the game management stuff with George Lee, our game management coordinator, with Chris Tabor on special teams, with Ajero on defense, and certainly with us on offense. So we even talked about it this morning, just developing a plan for how that's going to play out, how he can add value in each of those areas.
Because you hired two guys who were in the head coaching mix this year as coordinators, what did you also form as you were forming your staff? Did you bring in guys thinking they could be the successors at those coordinator spots?
Yes. I mean, I think you're always thinking that, who is, because you believe you're going to have success. I know all three of our coordinators. All three of our coordinators are legit, are and are going to be legit head coaching candidates.
You say big is home.
Now, quick question. This motherfucker said all three of his coordinators. Shout out Candy Girl in the chat. Block his ass, Shelly. This nigga saying all three of our coordinators. Hold on, let's count them. Offensive coordinator. You got a defensive coordinator. What else you got? Special team coordinator? Is that a title? Or is he alluding to Deuce Staley as well? Is he alluding to Evero, Thomas Brown, and Deuce Staley? Because mind you, Deuce Staley is his coaching assistant. I mean, who in the fuck is Frank talking about when he say his three coordinators? What is he talking about? Quarterback coach? Shout out Brian McClain. Is the quarterback coach a coordinator? Is a quarterback coach a coordinator? Not by my eyes, not in my book. That's not a title, guys. A quarterback coach is not a coordinator. Shout out Fins in the house. I'm assuming special teams. What the fuck is Frank talking about? Let's move on.
Legit head coaching candidates. So you have to think that. It would be foolish not to think that. So yeah,
And then I wanted to follow up too. We asked you about quarterbacks a few weeks ago. Since that time, Derek Carr is available. Will you guys bring him in on a visit?
Interesting question. We're really literally sitting down with the guys today for staff. First staff meeting will be tomorrow. But I've kind of met with guys individually saying, okay, here's what we're doing. First step one, let's evaluate our roster. So we're really just starting that process. So step two, evaluate the free agents. Everybody got their list. Okay. Step three, now, going to the college guys. So that process has literally begun. So really not ready to address the specifics of that because we're really just beginning.
Let's talk about the decision to keep James Camp.
Shout out Carolina Rush in the chat. I love that name. But Frank White running, he running around the pussy. He beating around the pussy on the question. They asked him about Derek Carr. He beat around that pussy like anybody who know how. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we got our list. Man, motherfucker, answer the question. Answer the fucking question. So just say it. No, we are not in the Derek Carr sweepstakes. It's simple shit. I mean, nigga, it's a simple fucking question. If you got as much control as you say you do, as you just said David Tepper gave you, speak, nigga. Or forever hold your fucking peace. Let's move on. Let's move on. Uno mas.
Camping, Chris Tabor, and Robert Kubler.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are, Campen is proven to be one of the top O-line coaches. That has been consistent for a long time. I watched the film, sat down for a long meeting with him, called a lot of other people back. That was a no-brainer, to be honest with you. And then
All right, that's enough of that shit. Y'all can catch the rest of that goddamn press conference on YouTube. Shout out Frank White, the Carolina Panthers, and the rest of the Carolina Panthers coaching staff. Now, let's just get into the end of it. Let's just recap the whole thing. What I will say is everything Frank said today, I mean, I think we all knew. We already knew. I mean, the only thing that he said that we didn't know is that they really had no vision at quarterback. And that's a fact. I mean, from what I took out of that is that Frank White and his offense. Now, what he did say, let me know. It gave me more reassurance that this fucking coaching staff and this organization is for one finally on the right time. They know what time it is. God damn it! You feel what I'm saying? They on the right time. They at the right time, and they in the they in the right place at the right time. I say that, and I say that to say this because what he just said is that now he said first official staff meeting is coming up. They all go sit down, and then now you're going to get the offensive coordinators, the GM. You're going to get them sitting down. He said first things first. They're going to reevaluate what they have on roster, in roster. So the questions that I had about a Sam Donald, about a PJ Walker. Some of y'all seemed a little concerned about Matt Corral. I guess these questions will be answered here now in the future because, for one, Frank knows they out of time. He can talk this shit all he want, but I'm glad the staff is in place because they was almost out of time. He knows that the combine is next week. He know that shit. He ain't got time for that shit. This is why the staff meeting coming up. And I think what he say, Monday, combine Tuesday. Shit. So yeah, you bet your sweet ass they gonna have a staff meeting. And he also told you that at quarterback, everybody has their list. Everybody got a list. Make sure y'all don't let that fly over your head. What that means is Frank has his list. Scott Fitterer has a list of quarterbacks, free agents, rookies, etc. Who he want to go get. I'm assuming these lists are compiled to certain names in certain categories, and we'll say free agent quarterbacks, we'll say rookies in the draft, and we'll say on the roster. Man. He said everybody has their list, and I'm assuming I'm assuming Josh has a list, and then come first staff meeting, official first staff meeting, they're gonna compile and bang heads over these names. I mean, hey, look, the Justin Field trade may be out there. Will Levis, somebody might have on their board. Anthony Richardson, somebody might be ready to bust their balls for. CJ Stroud might be on everybody board. So I say that to say the press conference out of Frank's mouth to me. I mean, if okay, so if he answered a lot of questions or questions that you all had, and I'm talking about Panther Nation, he say who list holds the most weight. I don't know. Fuck, shout out Fizz. That's the question, Fizz. Shout out Fizz. That's the fucking question. Who list ultimately gets the call. I don't know, Trill One. I'm just I'm just speculating, my G. No bullshit, Trill One. I'm speculating. But I'm sure one of them motherfuckers got Will Levis on their fucking board, my G. If you think they don't, you mistaken. You know what I mean? But I feel like when he asked him the Derek Carr question, Frank kind of shrugged this shit off, like, nigga, please. I know Derek Carr. He played against somebody. I mean, now Frank might know Derek Carr and Mike can't stand it. I don't know. I mean, this is just me insinuating. I'm speculating. I mean, that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. I'm gonna drop the link right now. You want to pull up, talk some shit about Frank? You can. If not, I'm gonna jump the fuck off. Y'all know what time it is. It's already late. I wanted to get with y'all tonight about this press conference. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Step on that fucking like button. If you new over here, subscribe for me. Run me up. Share the video. Let them know we live. We do it like this every time we go live. You want to show extra love? Y'all see the cash app. Send the ticker. Stop playing with it. Shout out Diamond Hollins in this motherfucker, man. Say we know Tepper got a list. Hey, you bet your no. Nicole got a list. Tepper though. Nicole got her list. He just go take it. Here's Nikki's list. Make sure you look at it. Make sure you look at it. Shout out T22 Keys in the chat. I see you. Easy Crate. Junior Preston. What's poppin'? Ali. What up, T? Where you been at? Mr. Boombastic. David Chris Holm. I see y'all, man. I appreciate the love. Y'all pull up on me. Yeah, me. Link in the chat. I think. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you like this though. the only question I think he answered for me or reassured me is that they have no answer at quarterback right now. I mean, they quite frankly, by his account, they ain't even talked about it. Something they ain't even discussed yet. If you're listening to Frank, if you're listening to what Frank tell you, but I know that y'all know better than that. I know y'all know better than that. Shout out Fade, my nigga Fade, certified. Fade, what's good, my G? You say you feeling good about the coaching staff. Jim should have been. No, hell no. Hell no. Fade, just because he black, man. Yep. You bet your ass she got a list in her bra. Yeah, I'm going to tell you like this, man. I'm going to tell you like this. I like everything he said, man. Shout out my guy, Dimitri Bird. What's poppin'?
Yo, what up, Unc? You doing all right, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know it.
Facts. I'm gonna tell you, man. See, I drive charter buses, man, and when I was on the way up to Virginia with my group, that's when the press conference came. I had a long time to sit there and listen to that thing over and over again for 2 hours. And after I listened to it, my assessment is they don't know what they're doing as of right now, still to this point.
Damn.
That's my assessment, man. I think they just did this press conference just to go ahead and give us a little something. Because it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we found out who the head coach was going to
Yeah,
be.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
And they just now getting together, looking at the roster. You just doing that, and you haven't
Yeah,
even got a
yeah.
tight ends coach. So how you gonna have a meeting But then you said we gonna let y'all know who the tightest coach is. Who the tightest coach is gonna be in 24 to 48 hours. But your meeting's
See?
supposed to be tomorrow.
Right.
I don't
No,
I don't trust it, man.
I think he said it was Monday. Didn't he say the staff first official staff meeting is Monday?
Nah, he said tomorrow they gonna meet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, see, because when you say they don't know what they doing, I think about when they asked him about the defense and how he said, "Yeah, we're going to be 3-4, but multiple, three
Right.
man down, 4 man down, five." Nigga, how you gonna go 3 man down, 4 man down, 5 man down, and you don't have personnel for that?
Yeah. Yeah. He said he gonna do that. 3 men down, 4 men down, 5 men down on the sub. So I'm like, so we're not truly a 3-4. Like, what do you guys like? What you trying to do, Frank? You know what I mean? What do you guys want to do? You said that Ejiro can coach all defenses, so I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I heard a lot of stuff, and then I heard a lot of nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's a fact. That's a fucking fact. I don't know why, man. I just didn't get. He didn't reassure me much. You know what I mean? Only thing
Mm,
he told me is that really made me say, "What the fuck?" Is that they don't they like you say they ain't sat down and looked at the roster yet.
yeah,
But
combine
he
next
telling
week,
you
right?
right now we gonna be in a 3-4 scheme. See that shit don't. You can't send that shit over my head. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, man. Yeah, and I sat there for 2 hours going up 95, listening to that thing over and over again. I ain't even listen to Jim Caldwell stuff because he ain't talking about nothing much. I
Nah,
just listened
they
straight up to Frank the whole time for 2 hours. And my brain just started going. I'm like, man, this don't make no sense, man. This
yeah
just sound like they just trying to give us something to kind of, get us over the little hump. We was excited, found out who the head coach was going to be, and let's just go ahead and have a presser, just to show that we doing something. They ain't
yeah
been
plus
doing
and
nothing,
plus
man.
the combine next week. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
exactly right. See, I didn't think of it or look at it like that. You know what I mean? But see, he really didn't have no answers. You know what I mean?
No, nah.
He really didn't have no answers. Motherfuckers should have asked him something else.
Yeah, that's how I feel, man. I may be wrong. I'm looking at it from my lens, but I took 2 hours, and when I sat back in my hotel room and I started thinking about that thing, started jotting down some stuff, I said, hold up, them niggas ain't said nothing really.
Nah, not at all.
Niggas ain't
Not
said
at
nothing,
all.
man.
He ain't said shit, man. He ain't. Hey,
Yeah.
look. He also said that he ain't giving Thomas Brown no fucking leeway when it come to calling plays.
And that's why I put on Twitter. I said, I hope Thomas Brown don't become the next Eric Bieniemy. I hope it doesn't come out like that.
Mm.
If now he said at his press conference, I didn't know him because he wasn't in my circle, and as I started to go outside my circle, I started to see him, and then as I
Andrew.
did,
What's happening, Unc?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk that shit, Dimitri.
yeah, he said I didn't know him. He wasn't in my circle. Then he said, as I had the Zoom meetings and met him in person, I was more and more impressed. Well, if you more and more impressed, let it go, baby. Let that man run his offense. You brought him in to be the offensive coordinator. Let him run it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that man he ain't got no job calling no
No, he ain't got
plays.
no job. He ain't got no job, man. No.
Andrew, what's up, baby?
Well, I look at it a lot different. Okay, I look at it this way. Uh, Did we really think any of you suggesting that in 2 weeks we're ready to start playing tomorrow? You got to give these guys time to mesh. We're not only rebuilding a football team, we're building a coaching staff. These guys haven't even had probably 2 meetings yet. The
Yeah,
answers we
yeah,
got
he
today were
told you that.
probably, yeah, the answers we got today. The problem, the reason they went out there today was just to satisfy the media. That's it. He hasn't sat down and had a full coaching staff meeting because he hasn't got a coaching staff yet. They're still a couple coaches away, so I don't read too much into what happened today. he's building that whole coaching staff, man. We're throwing all the shit out that put us to where we've been in the last 3 years. And it's going to take some time to do. Now, as far as the coaches he's hired so far, I'm 100% on board. And I don't know Thomas Brown that well, but he must be impressing somebody, because Sean McVay, I just read an article yesterday, hated losing him. The reason he lost him was because McVay had told his coaches, I don't know if I'm staying or not. If you guys want to seek employment elsewhere, you're welcome to it. Well, at that point, Thomas Brown was starting to get his feet wet a little bit and said, hey, I might be able to expand my career here a little bit. And now, of course, McVay's not going to call him back and say, hey, I changed my mind, come back. So the bottom line is we got to give these guys a chance to develop as coaches. It's only been a couple of weeks since they hired him. And I read an article the other day saying he's been at that facility from like 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. working. Frank Reich has. So he's doing his damnedest to get this staff together, and we're going to hit the ground running with this staff. I'm 100% sure of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the coaching staff is not suffice at all. What I'm saying is he telling you right now, Andrew, they don't have an outset quarterback right now. He told you right now they don't even have a fucking vision of where
That's
they
right.
want to go at quarterback.
That's right. They're I think they do, but they don't want to let it out yet. I think that Scott Fitterer has made it clear to Frank Reich what they're going to do in the draft and who they're going to try to draft. But he's not going to let that out. Not now, not before the draft, not when all free agents are out there. You know, if you're a free agent, and let's say you're an attractable free agent, and you decide to go one way in the draft versus another, you don't want to let that free agent know, hey, we're looking only at the draft, because he won't want to come. Depending on where they think they're going to end up in the draft, that's when they'll decide if they need to get a free agent or not. If they think they have a legitimate shot at getting a CJ Stroud, they're going to take that shot. If they don't, they'll probably hold on to their draft picks and sign a Derek Carr or whoever. I don't know who it would be, or even go with what they got now. Go with Matt Corral.
See, because as far as Derek Carr go, I think they're a little too late now when it
See,
comes to Derek Carr. You know
exactly,
what
but
I
see,
mean?
that's what I was telling you, Unc. There's a lot of gamemanship going on right now. That's why they're floating Justin Fields' name out there. They're floating it out there just to see what kind of offers are going to come their way. This is what they do in the NFL. They'll start floating all these names out there before the draft, the free agents and everything. So, you know, you're going to hear a lot. Remember the other day I told you we're going to hear a lot of this shit, and it's just starting to. So I watched the conference today, and I agree with your last caller. You know, there was a lot of things there that left me kind of questioning. The one I was kind of questioning was the fact that he just really didn't seem to know Thomas Brown that good. You know, but really, who would? I mean, he's been out of football for almost a year, and he's come back in. Apparently, he must have made a good impression in the interviewing process, because they seem really high on him.
Well, I mean, he kind of spoke high on him today. You know what I mean? But on offensive coordinator, I don't know. I don't know what they expect there. But Frank seems to believe they're gonna have a good relationship there. So if that's the type of temperature that Frank is taking off of his ass with his thermometer, then you know I gotta respect that and believe that. But I don't know. But like I say, Andrew, we just on the outside looking in.
Exactly.
We don't know what they relate. Look, shit, they could them two motherfuckers could sit at the desk and laugh all goddamn day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You never
And
know what type of relationship they have.
as
Let me
far as that,
let me ask y'all this: do y'all trust Frank Reich as a play caller, percentage wise? How much do you trust him?
I trust him because I thought he did a good job with the Eagles and with uh, in Baltimore, or Indianapolis. Tells you how old I am. I'm still calling them the Baltimore Colts. With Indianapolis, I think he did a good job. I mean, let's face it.
Andrew, you know
God damn it,
Hold on, Andrew.
C-Dog. What's up, nigga?
I knew C
What's
Dog would
going
get on
on?
this. I knew C Dog. Every time I come on, C Dog pops that phone.
Nah, I was coming anyway. I'm at work, but real quick, Andrew, he got fired for having a conservative offense with the
Oh,
coach.
that's not why he got fired, C Dog.
Nah, but real quick, hey, my man, who at the bottom right? What's my man name at the bottom right here?
Yo, Demetrius, what's up, man?
We're going to Dimitri, but real quick, this is what I said something about this earlier or the other day. Man, Frank Wright, I was excited for Thomas Brown because Thomas Brown is coming from the Rams and he been up on the Sean McVay. Frank Wright is, I mean, he's old. Like, we need new, innovative play calling. So I don't see why he wanted to go ahead and hand the reins over to Thomas Brown. Even today in the interview, he talking about he don't know where he gonna let him call plays. Like, what the fuck you bring him in here for? Nigga, if you want to call the fucking plays, why the fuck did you even hire his ass? This shit don't make no fucking sense. The only thing that makes sense right now, we're gonna be running a 3-4 defense, like I said before. Before this, I don't want Frank Wright calling a motherfucking thing because he can't do it. I told y'all, Frank Wright won't call plays with the motherfucking Eagles. When the Eagles won the fucking Super Bowl, Doug Peterson was calling fucking plays, not Frank Wright.
Do you feel that same way about Eric Bieniemy?
Man, I'm not gonna bring Eric. I'm not gonna bring Easy E into this.
We all know Andy Reid calls the plays for Kansas City. Are you saying that Eric Bieniemy?
Real quick, Andrew. Real quick, tell me this: how many rings do Andy Reid have without Eric B?
Well, you can't make a comparison. Frank Wright's only coached for
No. How many rings does Andy Reid have without his OC who just left?
See, dog, that's a fucking bullshit question. He'll probably have as many as he got now, nigga.
Zero, nigga. Zero.
Now see, how can you say zero? How can you say zero, nigga?
It is, nigga.
Yeah, he won one.
That's a fuck. Get out of. Get the fuck out
of here. When Patrick Mahomes started playing,
did Andy Reid win a Super Bowl in Philly?
That's right.
No, sir, he did not. Sir, he did not. He lost. Now, like I said, how many Super Bowls Andy Reid got without Eric B? Zero. What the fuck, man?
Yeah,
but real quick,
funny
man.
As hell, see, dog. I don't believe that. I'm sick of that shit, man. Eric Bieniemy ain't who you think he is. Matter of fact, if he was, why the fuck he take an OC job in Washington?
That's not the
because he dumb. Because he dumb. That's why. That was the dumbest thing he could have did.
He ain't the head coach because he
dumb. Was dumb,
nigga.
But real quick, hold on, Andrew. Now, real quick. Now we know the Eagles lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, but the Colts hired the goddamn Eagles OC. And the Cardinals hired they got them DC. But why would you hire them when they lost? How the fuck Eric B didn't get no job? That shit dumb as fuck, man. Come on, man. That shit. Come on, man.
See, dog.
Let's be
stop
for real, man.
Bitching, man. Why are you bitching about Eric Bieniemy?
Oh my god.
I'm not saying that.
I'm just giving you an example, man.
I think Eric Bieniemy is probably the best offensive coordinator in the league. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're going to say Frank Reich isn't a good coach because he's calling the plays and the offensive coordinator doesn't make a difference, then you can make the same argument for Eric Bieniemy because
well, stay right there, Andrew. Let me ask you something, C-Dog, Andrew. Since y'all hold Eric Bieniemy in such high regards, man, such high fucking regards.
He should have never left. It was dumb as fuck for even leaving.
Since you hold him at so much high regard. The Washington Commodores better be the top 2 offense in the league this year. If Eric Bieniemy is who you know, if he is who you say he is, they at least a top 5 offense. Since his play calling, winning Super Bowls, you totally just excluded what Patrick Mahomes is. You totally excluded what Travis Kelce is. You went around all the players and said simply that the offensive coordinator is the reason that they won Super Bowl. That's what you saying.
Yes, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes.
You know what, C-Dog? Where you at? Hold on, C-Dog. I got you.
Me better not put me backstage, man. Oh my god.
Not tonight, nigga. Not tonight.
You
Shout
put him
out
back.
C Dog. Shout out C Dog. I ain't dealing with that shit tonight. Not tonight. That nigga, he come over here every night with some left hand outlandish shit. Did y'all hear what he said?
I didn't hear it.
I heard him.
Andrew, let me repeat it. The nigga said that he's simply saying Eric Bieniemy is the only reason the Chiefs won Super Bowl. Now he excluded Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes ain't had nothing to do with it. It's all Eric Bieniemy. He took Travis Kelsey and put Travis Kelsey in a porta potty. Said
But
Travis Kelsey ain't
he's the
shit.
same guy that said that Matt Corral's better than CJ Stroud.
That's exactly who it is. That you yeah. I don't know about Sea Dog, man. Hey, shout out Sea Dog with a full coat on in the house. Boy, you better get some heat on in there. Better get some heat on in the crib.
Hey, no,
That,
it was a good. I thought it was a good conference, but really, he couldn't really. What could he really say? There's not much he could have said, really, because he hasn't even had a staff meeting yet. He's had the guys around that he's still putting together that coaching staff.
well, Andrew, can I ask you something, my friend?
Today, one thing he did say today is they'll have a tight end coach in the next day or two.
Well, Andrew, can I ask you something, my friend, my good friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, Frank's been in the house about what, two and a half, damn near a month now. He's been head coach almost a month now. So I
about
say
3
that to
weeks.
say, yeah, no, a little over 3 weeks, man. Little over 3 weeks now. Well, I'm just saying that to say this. God damn, why so long to meet with your coaches? What
No,
you
I'm just
waiting on?
saying he's had. I'm sure he's met with his coaches, but what I'm saying is he's still in the hiring process of putting that whole staff together. You've got to get your offensive coordinator in the building and start working, going over the roster, familiarizing themselves, looking at tape, looking at where they want to go, who they want to keep, where they want to draft. This is all the growing pains, man. It's going to take more than what we know already. I mean, today's conference wasn't that big of a deal. To me, it was more just a gathering of the media with the new coach.
Well, Andrew, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, we really didn't say much to really sway us anyway. This really was just like you said about the media. It was just to say, hey, I'm doing something. I know y'all have seen reports about me being inside the office from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. He ain't really say nothing. That's what I'm saying.
You know what?
I ain't get nothing.
I would have loved to have heard like a
I'm not going to
direction
swear
though.
to this, but I know there are guidelines that the NFL puts out for coaches to meet with the media. He might have been up against the timeline where he had to have a sit down with the media. So I'm not saying I know that for a fact, but I know that's why you see a lot of these players that come out after the game. The last thing they want to do is get out in front of a microphone, but they under contract they have to get out there in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So it could have been that he had to have a meeting with as far as the direction of the team.
Yeah. I think it was time. I think it's time. It was time. And like he said, if they have a meeting, a staff meeting, we'll get another meeting from the coaches here this week too. Maybe they will then, Andrew, give us, a direction on, let's say, a Sam Donald. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometime this week. Shout out my nigga C Dog. You know I be fucking with you, boy.
Dog,
you make good content, man. You make great content. Hey, Dimitri, where you sitting down at with that menu at, my guy?
Man, I'm here at Virginia Beach, Virginia, at the Hyatt House, man. Just dropped my group off from doing a track and field meet, man. So I'm chilling for the rest of the night.
Good for you.
Hey man, you ain't hey Dimitri. Hey, you ain't no goddamn book club tonight? You ain't no strip club while you out there?
Nah, man. I don't do the strip club stuff, man.
Ah, damn, C-Dog.
C-Dog, he's with a bunch of kids. He's with a bunch of kids, dude.
I mean, what?
Man, he ain't babysitting.
Y'all see what time it is with C-Dog.
Man, I don't think he's doing it driving.
Yeah, man.
Damn,
I
C-Dog.
don't do that. I don't
You
do
don't
that
think
stuff,
that man
man.
tired? All he want, he look like he want to get something to
Hey,
eat. Kick
look.
the fuck back.
Hey, Dimitri, you ever in Atlanta, man? Fuck with me, man. We gonna hit the goddamn butt club, my nigga. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I'm actually gonna be in
Yeah,
Atlanta next
he's.
week.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right there, he's gonna have to
Man, boy, it's
respectfully
going down.
decline on you. He's gonna respectfully decline.
Yeah, man. I'm staying at the Marquis, downtown Atlanta.
What day, sir? What day, sir? What day you gonna be here?
We leave on Tuesday and we come back on Saturday with I think it's another track and field meet going on in downtown Atlanta.
Downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
Hey, are you gonna be free for the night? Can you get out, hit the streets?
Yeah, I hit the streets modestly. I'm a family man. I can't be doing that crazy, man. That
Sir,
crazy.
sir.
Oh, you're in some
Dimitri, whatever goes on with me, it stays down here in the dirty south, sir.
I got you. I'll let you know
Hey,
about
Okay.
that.
don't listen to that C-Dog snitch on your ass. Soon as you leave.
Man,
No, I'm
come
messing with you.
on
You
with
know
that
I'm
shit.
fucking
Come
with you.
on.
C-Dog, you know I'm fucking with you, man. You ain't
Look,
me. Nah,
Dimitri,
but
look.
hey, Dimitri,
Hey,
decline. You gonna have to respectfully
hey,
decline.
hey, no, hey, sir. Look,
Yo,
sir. All thing we're gonna do is we get some drinks and look at some cheeks, man. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you,
Yeah,
man.
shout out
I hear
Mr.
you.
Boom Bostic, the butt club. That disgusting. That shit. Yeah, when you say it like that, it's a complete turn off, man. God
Sir,
damn.
you know you
You
know I'm
just
from
you just make
Vietnam,
it
man.
you make it
We call it the
sound
butt
grungy,
club.
dirty. You
Man,
know,
what you want when you go in there? What you
man,
want?
that
You
ain't
want
what the fuck I
nasty?
want, nigga. I'm a bougie
I'm
bitch.
talking about,
See,
you know
dog,
what
I want some
my nigga.
kind of
Oh
class
my
and
god.
elegance. Shout
Man, ain't
out
no
C
class in the
Dog
strip
for
club,
going to
nigga.
watch the
Ain't no class in
midgets.
the
He
strip
like the
club,
midget
nigga.
strippers. Yeah, just don't give a damn, man. God damn.
Man, stop it, man, stop it. Fuck that, Dimitri. Hey,
Yeah.
we gonna
See,
have us
dog,
a
you
good
just all
time,
over
man.
the place,
All
man.
right,
We
all right.
talking about Frank White. Where the hell a butt club come from?
But real quick, I'm done. But look, hey, give my man my information if you can. My man, my information so he can hit me up.
Facts.
Hey, he gonna email you my information, Dimitri. You just got to hit me up, my nigga. We got
All
to gonna
right.
do something, man.
Most deaf, man. Most deaf.
Yeah, Sea Dog's a real one though, man. Yeah, man, no bullshit. I linked with Sea Dog one time in my city. He pulled up on me in my city. We
Word.
had
That's
a
what's
good
up.
we had a good time. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
No
sir.
bullshit. Shout out
man, my
Sea
nigga.
Dog.
Well, I want to tell you, I might be able to got them come slide, come got them see you Saturday, depending on what you got going on.
What, this Saturday?
Yeah,
Well, I
this
ain't got
Saturday.
shit going on, nigga. Pull up on me. We gonna shoot some rounds
Man,
off or
I'm
something,
pulling
sit
up
doggy.
there. I'm pulling up there. I'm
Shit,
pulling up there.
say
My
no
birthday
more. You know what I
Thursday.
mean? Well, you know it is early in the week though. Shit could change, so just stay with me all week, my G. You know what time it is. You got my
Yeah, hey,
direct.
it's all good. I'll be in the
You
village. I
got
ain't
my
number 2 hours
direct,
from you when
nigga.
I get there.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. I
Let's get back to the
definitely.
Frank White though, man.
Yeah, see, dog, real quick. I'm on that Jack and Coke now, man. That damn Jack and Coke got me going right now. You know what I mean? So if we drinking, it's gonna
And
be some kind of Jack and some Coke. You know what I mean?
that's all good. I want to hit one of them restaurants to see my buddy Chinatown go to in Greensboro. He done blew up now. I
Well,
want to hit
what
one
you
of them
want? What
goddamn
you
good.
want? You want to go? You want to step out or something, Sandy? Hold on,
Shit,
real
it don't
quick,
matter,
chat.
man.
Hold on in the chat. In the chat, real quick. I'm trying to link with my nigga C Dog. I'm trying to see what he got on his mind. You know what I mean? What you trying to do, Sandy? What you want to go get a steak or something?
Shit, we can do whatever, man. Whatever, my G. You know, I'm just trying to have a good time,
Say no
burn
more.
one.
Say no
Yeah,
more.
my G.
Yeah. Well, burn one. Nigga, please. We gonna go through a
We,
zip,
we
nigga.
know what I mean.
Stop
Come
playing.
on, man. Come on, man. Come on,
Stop
man. Come
playing. Talking
on, man. We
about
don't need
what?
to
We gonna smoke a
look.
zissy, nigga. Yeah. Fuck wrong with you, nigga? In the night. We gonna blow a zip in the night. Yeah, bro. Stop playing. See dog funny as hell. You know what time it is with me, man.
Hey, man, Carolina E, man. Come on, man. We gotta get back to football, though, man.
Yeah,
Get
we
back to
right back
football.
to it. Yeah, he say no more Sea Dog opinions on my Carolina Panthers. Carolina E, hit the link, pull up. Link in the chat. Let Sea Dog
Pull
know how
up,
you feel.
yeah. Pull up.
Hey, shout
Yeah.
out Hook House Beats. I see you. I see you, Hook House Beats. Yeah, me.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
Andrew,
Link in the chat. Andrew,
but
you
real
still
quick
with us,
earlier.
baby?
Yeah, see, Doug.
Yeah, he's
But
still
real
with us.
quick,
Andrew a soldier.
Andrew.
Yeah, I'm here.
Earlier, you said Fred White had success with calling plays with the Colts.
He did,
So,
see, dog. He did.
He made it to
no, but
4 years. He was in the playoffs twice.
3 times.
but what
Three
Yeah,
happened?
times.
I gotta give
What
that to
happened?
him. Yeah.
What happened? But what happened these last 2 years when he was calling plays? What happened?
Last year, he really didn't get a chance. He was 3-5 when they let him go, and they brought in an ESPN
Yeah, see,
analyst to replace him.
Dog keep
They got
acting
drama
like
about the
Frank
ownership,
White
though,
didn't leave
Dog.
Indianapolis for reasons.
Dog.
It was ownership and it wasn't football, nigga. It wasn't
Dog.
football that had Frank leave.
Let me ask you
Trust me.
something, C Dog. Who hired Frank Reich?
Yes, sir.
Who hired him as a coach?
What? Jim Irsay?
Tony Dungy and Jim Caldwell. I think they know a little bit about someone who can coach their football team. Wouldn't you say?
Hey,
Hold on. You said hold on, Andrew. You telling me that Tony Dungy hired Fred Wright to be the head coach?
He replaced Tony Dungy.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't, dude. No, he didn't replace Tony.
No, what I'm saying is, if you listen to that press conference today, he said that he was hired by Tony Dungy and Jim Caldwell. The point I'm trying to make is,
No.
Hey, hold on, fellas. Real quick, shout out Derek B. I got new shirt, new logo, new everything coming for y'all this spring, man. It's already in the works. The shirt's coming. Yeah. You know what time it is. They on your ass. Fly shit. You know what time it is. I got y'all coming. Don't even worry about it.
That's what's
Shout
up,
out
man.
Donna B.
Congratulations, man,
Go
on
ahead,
the
fellas. I
new
had to
merch
drop
coming.
that. Derek B asking for a shirt. I got new Jones coming. This early. They'll probably hit in about 3 weeks. Go ahead,
What I'm saying
C-Dog.
is,
Talk your
Andrew,
shit.
but I mean, my man, he was on. I mean, I can't say he had a great
God
success while he
damn. Hold
was there.
on. Shout out Dimitri for having an exclusive plate over there. Exclusive,
That's
dude.
what that nigga said.
Hey,
Yeah.
look. Give us a preview.
God
Let us see
damn.
what you eat, nigga. Let me
Just
see
a
what you
little,
eat.
just a little
Okay.
burger, man. You know, ain't nothing too much, man.
God damn.
Yes, sir.
All you need is a green thing and a goddamn drink. You good?
What you got there? White truffle fries?
Yeah,
Truffle palm fries?
truffle parmesan fries, man.
Yeah.
Look
That boy eating. Hey, look, I already know what time it is. White truffle palm fries. He finna get nasty in there.
I'm gonna turn the camera off, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, enjoy your meal, my guy. Enjoy your meal.
Yo,
Yes,
now, I will say this. Now, with me doing the buses, I drive for Wingate University, so I drive a football team. And Frank Reich's brother is Joe Reich down there in thank you, man, down there at Wingate. And I know Joe. Joe's pretty cool, man. He's an even kill type of dude. And just a little bit of conversation I've had with Joe, man. I do feel like Frank Reich is a good coach, man, because his brother, he's been there for 20 years, man. And last year they made it all the way down to it was only 4 teams left. They went down to West Florida and got beat, but I mean they have a good mind, and just knowing Joe Reich for the time that I've known him, been driving the team for the time I've been driving, pretty good people, man.
I mean, I don't question his coaching at all. I don't. Like, the only thing I
I
say
ain't.
is it's just that they have no direction at quarterback, and if they do, Frank, like Andrew said, he didn't allude to it. But what he did say is, we got our list. He did say they got their fucking list, which means they do have a direction. He just didn't tell us. He said, everybody got their list. That's what came out his mouth.
Now, real quick,
So
Unc and Andrew, I just got a real quick question for both of y'all. Whoever want to go first. Now, since y'all y'all don't care about Frank White calling the plays and anything or whatever. My only problem was when he was talking about Thomas Brown today was he didn't say when he was going to hand him over, like when was he going to be in control of the calling the plays. It's like he was saying something about he love it, something about he love calling the plays and everything. He don't know how he gonna be able to let it go. I mean, but as a head coach, man, if you should have confidence in your DC or your OC to do their job, and just have your coaching input, however you do it during the
Yeah,
week, the game
yeah.
planning and everything. So
Well,
it's just like, I mean, I just don't know with that right there, man. 'Cause I'm like, man, I really don't want to do call them plays. Now you telling me you don't know what this other guy gonna call them plays. Like a lot of this shit is undecided still. It's like shit
Yes,
might be on the
sir.
roll. Like you said, we might have had a guy the NFL Combine, the Senior Bowl, and all this shit. I mean, I don't know, man. This shit, I don't know. It's kind of discouraging, man. Because we didn't really get any answers today. Just to go off what everybody was saying earlier before I called in, like we really only answer we got was we run the 3-4 defense, and then even with that, he didn't even really explain it correctly and everything.
cause he
Talking about the
can't
four
see,
down and
dog.
all that. I know, but hold on, calm down, man. You always talk about me, but I know he can't explain it, but man, don't even talk about it. If you don't know what you're saying, my nigga, just shut the fuck up because you make yourself look dumb when you talking about the lineman and shit. I'm like, man, this nigga, just be quiet right now, man. Just be quiet.
Well, see,
Then you
dog.
tell me,
Did he
yes, sir,
piss you
yes, sir.
off? Did that piss you off when he said, "Yeah, we're gonna go 3 down, 4 down, 5 down"?
Yeah, because that shit don't make no fucking sense.
It
You
really
know what I'm
didn't,
saying?
bruh. That's
It didn't
another
make
thing
any
that I
sense.
said, see, dog, that made me understand that he really don't know what the defensive scheme is gonna be. He said it's gonna be multiple. It's gonna be multiple. He said there's
Yeah,
gonna be
but
multiple.
I already told
Yeah.
y'all I've been telling y'all a long time ago we should have been running multiple defensive fronts because in the NFL you can't just have a one base defense.
But you
That's why I
gotta
was telling
have
everybody, man.
personnel, see, dog, to
Yes, sir. But
capitalize in a multiple front defense or a man, look. Oh
look, all we
God.
need. Don't frustrate yourself, my nigga. But look, we already have most of the personnel. All we need is probably like one more DT or two more DTs in the draft or free agency. And we'll be fine. I'm really not worried about the defense. I'm really worried about who the fuck gonna be calling plays and all this. Like what
See,
the fuck
dog, we
Thomas
ain't even
Brown gonna
got a
be doing?
fucking quarterback, and you talking about who call and play.
I know, but man, this is an important thing. But look though, like why did we even hire Thomas Brown? You talking about how you like them, how you start liking them the more you've been around him. But why you bring him in if you're not
I
confident in
agree.
anything he can do with the play calling?
I
And like
agree.
that's just that don't make no sense. That don't make no
Yeah, I
sense.
told you why. Because they had to fill that position, nigga. You
Nick
hear me?
Sirianni calls the plays for the Eagles. That worked out pretty good for him, don't you think, Sea Dog?
Man, Brian Johnson called a plays for the Eagles. Here, man,
Nick,
Seriano
Nick,
both called plays, sir.
Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson runs the offense. Nick Sirianni called the plays.
So if you run the offense, that means you just come
That's
on,
what
Andrew.
offensive
You just answered the
coordinators
question yourself.
do. They help the head coach form the offensive game plan. But there's at least 7
Real
or 8
quick.
NFL coaches that call their own plays. Kyle
No,
Shanahan
it's not,
calls his own
Andrew.
plays. Sean Payton
Yes, it
calls
is.
his
Yeah,
own
yeah, it is, see,
Stop, but
dog.
how about man? It's only probably about 5 out of 32 teams that call their own plays. Five
plays.
coaches. Let's be for real.
And guess
And
who they
everybody
are?
can't call plays. No, but
By
hold on,
the
real
way,
quick now,
so
Andrew.
Kyle
But
Shanahan.
no. Hold on. Simon, I can't say
You're
Simon
trying to
Bates
make
is
it.
good.
You're trying to make the point
Hold
that
on,
you can't be
sir. Hold on,
successful if you're a head coach calling the plays, and the
hold on,
numbers don't
Andrew.
speak to that.
Hold on, Andrew. Let me just say something. Simon Vay is not a great play caller because you see Simon Vay didn't do shit this year. So he didn't have a quarterback.
And you think
Kyle
that was
Shanahan is the
you
best.
think Simon
Sir, let
See,
me finish,
dog, why
please,
you keep
sir,
saying he didn't have a
sir. Oh
quarterback,
my
bruh?
man, do
God.
you even follow football?
Let
Yeah,
me
yeah, you
finish.
keep
Let me
saying
finish.
he ain't had no fucking quarterback. He had Matthew
Listen
Stafford
to
for the
me.
bulk of the year.
Okay, and let me finish. Look, Kyle Shanahan went through how many quarterbacks still made it to the NFC Championship game. That's a fucking play caller. That's what I'm saying. So Kyle Shanahan, it's only one Kyle Shanahan out here. That's what I'm saying. It's only one Doug Peterson out here. It's like a couple of coaches who are great at calling plays. This is what I'm getting to at the end of the day. Sean McVay was never a great play caller. He was never a Cal Shanahan. Like, come on, man. That's all I'm
Well, see,
saying.
dog, when
I,
when when Sean McVay went in the Super Bowl that year, they calling him a great play caller. You probably was too. So y'all nigga kill me on how quick shit
man,
changed from year to year.
they bought a Super Bowl. They bought a Super Bowl. Hooray! They bought a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow almost beat
Nah,
the Yankees without an offensive line. If
nah,
Joe Burrow had
they
an
ain't
offensive
buy
line, they
that,
would have beat
man.
them boys. Come on, man. They had fucking Odell Beckham, fucking Cooper Cup. That geeked up ass team. Come on, man. They bought it down Super Bowl. Now they ain't got nobody. Not the fucking coach for the league. Just the same thing. Got them Sean Payton did with the got them Saints. Come on, man.
So
Well,
C Dog, let me ask you
Be
a
that's
for
question.
fair.
real.
Would you feel the same way if we had the ability to get Odell Beckham and all these other great name players and we went to the Super Bowl and won? Would you feel that we bought it?
Nah, I don't want to win like that. They bought a ring. I don't want to win like that. We done been to the Super Bowl 2 times already, but just got them playing football and great defense. We don't
So
need to. We don't need to buy rings around here.
what you think they did? They went out there and they worked for it too.
Nah, they bought man. They bought. They had a super team, man. Come on, man. Oh man,
Hey,
Sean McVay ain't do nothing this year. That's what I'm saying. Well, he didn't do nothing this year. Cal Shanahan had them boys in the NFC Championship game with his third, fourth goddamn quarterback. That's fucking play calling. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Doug Peterson had the Jaguars in the playoffs this year. They didn't rebuild anything with the goddamn Jacksonville Jaguars. Doug Peterson came in 1 year and they in the fucking playoffs
uh,
because he's a
hey,
great play caller.
shout out. Mike Wingate said I buy a goddamn Super Bowl win. That's a fact. Shout out my everybody that pulled up tonight. I gotta jump off, fellas. It's dinner time, shower time, and sleep. I appreciate y'all for pulling up on me, C Dog, Andrew, Dimitri. I love y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, I
Thank you.
appreciate the
Thanks, Doc.
content, Andrew. You know it as always, man. Always.
Everybody have a great night, man.
Yes,
Andrew,
sir.
Dimitri,
You
man.
too.
Everybody have a great night. And Dimitri, man, get my information for maybe going out next weekend, my nigga.
All right, C Dog.
All
Shout out
right.
to the chat. I love y'all. We gone.